Hey guys, welcome to Tech and Tuts Enhancing Education Module Python. Press the subscribe button if you haven't already and press the bell icon and never stop learning. And in this video I'll be telling about the different kinds of arithmetic operators or mathematical operators that can be used in Python, and how to accept user inputs, and in the end of the video we will combine these two things and find out the interesting result. So let's get started. Okay, at first let me show you the different mathematical operators that we can use, basic ones. We can use the plus operator. So if I write a number like 4, and Python is pretty good in math, so it can do almost every mathematical operations. So if we type 4 and if I type a plus sign and then enter 2 and I press enter, I should get a result 6. I get. Similarly, I can subtract two numbers, like if I give 45 minus like anything you want, like 23. Let's see what happens. 22. That's the correct answer. And even we can divide a number with another one, like if I divide 45 by 5, you get 9. And you can multiply two numbers, like if I multiply 23, and the symbol for multiplication is a simple asterisk or star, whatever you want to say. 23 into maybe 3, and if I press enter, it gives the result 69. And we can actually use one more operator, the one we used over here, 45 divided by 5. This slash actually gives us the quotient, means for when I divide 45 by 5, I get 9 as quotient, right? But 40, if I want the remainder, I can do that by, let's type in the same numbers. Let it be 45, and we use in this case, to find out the remainder, we use modular division. What is that? It is actually nothing but the percentage symbol. You type in the percentage symbol, you give the value with which you want to divide it. I will give 5 over here, and I should get 0, because 45 is completely divisible by 5, so the remainder is 0. Okay, so these are all the basic mathematical operators that can be used. And one more thing you can do normally, like if you want to find something to the power something, like if I want to find x to the power y, so I can even find that by simply typing in the number like 5 to the power 2. Let's try 5 to the power 2. So if I write and the syntax for that is 5, you give double asterisk, that indicates to the power, and then you type in the power, let it be 2, and if I press enter, I get 5 into 5, it's 25. Okay, that's cool, right? So that was how we can use these simple normal mathematical operations to calculate certain results. Let's now go to our special IDE PyCharm and take a user input. Now, how to take user input? Uh, the easiest way of doing it is just define a variable, and I will call it maybe user input over here, and the thing I need to type in is the command input. You type in input, you can see the suggestion over here what you want to use. That's a special like a helpline when you use PyCharm or any this kind of IDEs. It prompts some possible results that you are trying to find. So I will type in input, and I will inside bracket I can give nothing actually. Let's try this. Let's run it. You can run it from here. Let's run. See, it's don't give anything over here, but I can actually type something in this you know, shell. So what we can do is give 34, and if I press enter, that actually accepts 34, and it have already stored the number 34 inside this variable user input. So if I want to print it, I need to use the command. So actually this is the place where you write the code, and this is the place where you can find the final output of your code. So over here I will be typing in all the codes, and you will get the respective results over here. So let me print this user input. So the command for that is print, and I will pass the variable name over here, which is user input. I can simply press enter, as it have already shown me the possible thing I'm trying to find. So it's user input. I press enter, and let's run this and see what happens. See over here, I can type any number I want, 678 maybe, and it have, if I press enter, you can see the result over here. So this 678 have been stored in this variable, and I'm printing out this variable, so it is giving me the same result. That's how simply you can actually accept user input in Python. It's actually very simple. Now what if I want the user to give inputs of specific data types? As I have already spoken about the different kinds of data types, so I will be not repeating it. You can obviously go back to my previous videos and learn it from there, and if you know it, then it's great. So the different kinds of data types that can be used are obviously integer, float, and string, right? So what if I want the user to give integer input only, and if not, it will show an error. It will not show an error. It will actually convert in anything you give into an integer. So what will happen is, if I type in user variable, maybe, sorry, user variable, that's my variable name, and if I write int, I give the input command, I give another bracket over here, and inside that I can actually pass in an argument. Let me do it first, then I will explain it to you. I will type maybe please enter a number. So this thing over here, what we have typed inside these inverted commas, will be directly printed in your shell. Means this whatever we, the block of codes that will be writing over here, will not be displayed in the final you know, output, but whatever you will be writing inside this parenthesis, whether that will be directly printed in this shell. So let's try that out. Okay, let me do one more thing. Let's actually display the value. So the command for that is print, and I will pass the user variable name as I did before, and then let's try running it. So see, it tells me please enter a number. As I have written it over here, it directly copies it to the shell, and let me enter a number like 78 maybe, and if I press enter, you can see 78 have been printed directly over here. Now what if, and as I have shown you in my previous video, I can actually see the data type of any variable through a command which is type, and if I write type and then pass the variable name, which is in my case user variable, and press play actually, or run, whatever you want to say, and I enter a value over here, 56 maybe, yeah, and press enter. So what happened over here? Okay, so this type haven't been printed, so I need to print this type over here. So what you can do is simply type print, and inside this print function a command you can give this command type user variable. So what will this do? This will print the type of the variable. Let's run that. Let's enter a number 56. See, it says 56. I entered 56. It has been stored in this variable, and this variable contains the 56, and the type of this number is integer. Now what if I simply convert this integer to float? The command for that is float. Let's run that, and let's enter a number like 56 again and press enter. Now you can see it has been converted into a float. The same program, nothing different except this command float. So the input that I have accepted from the user, whatever input he will be giving, that will be converted into float. And what if we want to accept a string? I can use the command str for that. By the way, by default, if you don't write any data type over here, and if we just type in input and the rest of the thing over here, that will automatically will be accepted as a string by default. So let's try that out. Let's give numbers, same number, maybe 56. See, now the class have been converted to string. So that's how we can actually take user inputs. Okay, now let's do some program. Okay, so in this case I will be okay. The program that I am going to do is, my target is I will be accepting to number from the user, and I will be executing different mathematical operations on those two number, and I will be displaying those two number in my shell. That's the motto of the program. I will simply accepting two numbers, doing I will do the different mathematical operators and print the result to the user. So it can be considered as a very simple calculator. So let's do that. What I can do is I can name a variable like let me refresh that. I can name a variable like number 1, and I will take a I will just take an integer variable. So let's it be int, and I will give the command for taking inputs, that is input. The commands are really easy, right? It is very relative and relevant. It's not really hard to remember. So inside input I would like to give some comments like enter your first number. Okay, so that's how I can accept one number. I need another one, so I will just copy it and paste it in the next line, and the variable name I need to convert it to a different variable name. So that's looks fine. Okay, I need to change it to second. The variable name should be different, right? If it's same, so it will be confused or it will be overwritten. So that's all I got to input from user, and let's now perform some mathematical operation on this number 1 and number 2. So how can we do this? So we will perform this mathematical operation individually and store those values to some variables. So let's find out the summation of those two numbers first, and I will name the variable as sum, and I will simply write number 1 plus number 2. So that should add up this to number that I have accepted from the user and stored the value inside this sum variable. Next, I would like to do a subtraction operation. Let's name it like small letter s subs, or just sub, and num1 minus number 2. That seems fine. And what if I want to multiply these two number? I will name the variable as mult, and let's do the same thing. Number 1 into, as I have already mentioned, it's nothing but an asterisk symbol. You give number 1 and number 2. And what if I want to divide these two number? So there are two kind of division that I have already mentioned. One is just a backslash, and the other one is a modular division, which is nothing but a percentage sign. I have defined the function of those two also. So let's use them. Um, Let me divide two number first and find out the quotient. I will call it like div maybe, or I can write like quotient. That would be much easier to understand. So my variable name is quotient, and inside it I will be performing a division operation. So let's do number 1 backslash number 2. Then I would also like to find out the remainder of those two number. Let's call it like remainder, and over here I'll be using the modular division operator with number 2. Okay, that looks fine. And now that I have stored all those values in different variables, and that should not it should not be really hard to print those variables. So let's just print this number. I will say print the command. I will print a command like sum of the two numbers. Let's make it small. Sum of the two numbers is, give a colon, maybe a little bit of space, yeah, then give a comma, and whatever value you want to print. I want to print the sum of the two numbers, and I have stored the summation in this variable sum, so I need to pass that variable over here. I just need to write sum over here, and that should show me a result something like sum of the two numbers is whatever the result that we'll get by adding these two numbers. Simple, right? Next I can do is print uh, like difference of the two numbers is, maybe I can say difference of the two numbers is, let's just give a comma and pass the variable name, which is sub over here. This sub actually subtracts these two number, right? So now let's print. Okay, let me just copy it, and I will just change the names. Print. Now I'll be finding out the product, so let's convert it to product, and the value of the product is actually stored in the variable mult, so I'll be calling mult. And then let's print, copy it again, and this time I'll be finding the quotient, so I can write quotient of the two number is int, uh, and I have stored that value inside the variable uh, quotient, right? So let's pass the variable name quotient over here, and next thing I need to do is print the value of remainder. So remainder of the number, remainder, sorry, this thing must be inside this inverted commas, remainder, remainder of the two numbers is, let's give a comma, and I need to pass the remainder variable which stores the remainder after performing this operation, modular operation. So let's try this now. Let's I will explain you once more what is happening in this program. First of all, I am taking two user input. I am actually accepting a value, storing that value inside this number 1 and number 2. So I got two numbers, right? Then I am performing different mathematical operation. In this case, I am adding two number and storing it in sum. Similarly, next line I am subtracting the two number and storing it in sub. Then I am multiplying the two numbers and storing it in mult variable, and then I am finding the quotient by simply using the backslash and storing it in quotient variable. In the next line I am doing the modular division and storing the remainder inside this remainder variable. So, and in the next four line I'm just printing out the values of the different variables that I have found: sum, sub, mult, quotient, remainder. So let's run this, let's see what happens. So it is asking for a number. Enter your first number. So let's enter a number like 56. Enter your second number, maybe 6, or let's make it maybe 4. Yeah, let's press enter. After pressing enter, it must be giving me all the answer the way I have written it over here. Let's press enter, and it does. Look at the result. Sum of the two number is 60, 56 plus 4 is 60, difference of the two number is 52, 56 minus 4 is 52, product of the two number is 224, 56 into 4 is 224, quotient of the two number is 14. If you divide 56 by 4, the quotient that we will be getting is 14, right? And the remainder will be 0, as 56 is completely divisible by 4. So that's how you can do all those things. And one more thing you can do is obviously find the power, right? As I have told you, you can use simply maybe power and number 1 to the power, the symbol for that is 2 asterisks, and to the power number 2. So that is going to be a pretty big value. Let's try that out. Okay, let me print that value. I'll simply copy this, press enter and paste this, and over here I'll be converting it to maybe like this. I can also do something like this. Look, I can actually write this number 1, okay, comma, inside bracket. If I give a symbol like this symbol you must have seen in calculators that you use, like 5 to the power 4, we normally use this symbol in calculator, right? So I can use number 1 to the power number 2, that will and show the result which is stored inside this power variable. I will explain with power. So what will this line do? It will print this number 1, whatever the user will give. Then it will print this, simply this symbol the way it has been written over here. Then it will print the second number, and then it will print the value. I can do one more thing over here. I can give inverted comma and give a colon mark. So you can also do this thing. You can write a combination of comments and values the way you want to arrange it in a sentence, and that should give me the result. Let's try that out. Here it goes. I will use the same value 56, and then second number is 4. See what it does. Okay, till this the results are all same. Remainder is 0, quotient is 14, product is 224, and then 56 to the power 4 is this big number 9834496, right? So that's how we can do this. Okay, give me a minute. So that's all for today. If you have liked my video, please do like, share and subscribe, and keep appreciating. I'll be coming up with new videos very soon, and please drop down if you have any kind of queries, or any kind of, if you have any problem with understanding something, please do comment. I will try my level best to help you out. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Hope that video helped you in developing your conception. Give it a like, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share. Thanks for watching.